Welcome back to TYT Sports. As you can tell, this is not the studio and it is not around the Premier League on a Monday morning with myself and the true Geordie. That's because I actually took a break. Yes, I did. My birthday is today, so you can wish me a happy birthday. Thanks a lot for that. I'm 20 something. I'll leave it at that. So I took a little trip, but that's not going to stop me talking about the Premier League and some topics around the footballing world here on TYT Sports. So first of all, I'm going to talk about my winners from the weekend. First winner. Everyone can kind of let me away with this one because I'm going to blow my own horn. Here it's here. I'm going to blow it. That looks a little odd, so I'm not going to do that again. But what I'm going to talk about is the predictions I had. Tottenham and Liverpool, dead on draw. Called that straight off the back. Knew it would have happened. Jurgen Klopp's team where he calls himself the normal one, and they were pretty normal. Standard Liverpool in that game. I didn't see any bite to their game, but to also go to an informed White Hart Lane and come away with a point is not too shabby, especially starting off your Premier League campaign. So 0-0 for that. I did predict that one right, and I predicted exactly how Manchester United should have played on my tactics video on Full Time Devils, so head over there and see that if you've never seen it. I predicted if they would exploit Galloway's, I would say, ball watching ability, or his lack of, should I say, because he's always watching the ball. They would find gaps in Everton's left-hand side, and Anders Herrera definitely took advantage of that and had a great game overall. And then if they closed the clear passing lanes, which they did in Jagielka's mistake, both of them led to me being pretty happy on Saturday for a good day's work. So Manchester United, but they're not my winner. So not Man United, because I expected them to win that game, but Manchester City, the close rivals. I will talk about how Raheem Sterling has definitely stepped up to the plate. Wilfred Bonny coming in with a goal there, but Kevin De Bruyne, more than anything else, having to step up for your team when you're lacking that finishing quality up top in Sergio Aguero. It definitely shows a lot for the character of this Manchester City team. They could have easily crumbled after losing a phenomenal player like Aguero for several weeks, but they stepped up to the plate. And as I mentioned, Bournemouth are no mugs, but you really expected Manchester City to pick up the 3 points, and they just did it with such conviction that they have to be one of my winners. And I'm not actually going to mention any losers, to be honest, because I watched the Premier League. This is the first weekend, I think, that I thoroughly watched every game through all, I would say, as much of the aspects as I could, because I had a little bit more freedom to do so. Birthday weekend and all, you just kind of relax. But I was just, once again, how can I mention the Premier League weekend without mentioning West Ham? Another tough task, playing against a team who are also in form, who are also expected to drop at any point, Crystal Palace, and Slaven Bilic's team, again, just show such conviction in front of goal. I've said conviction about 10 times, but that's all that comes to mind when I say Payet, who plays up front, or Payet, however you want to say it. When is this lad going to stop? I mean, what a start to the season. Already got people, I would say, preaching that he's going to leave in January and move on in the summer because teams are going to be after his signature, and who can blame him? He looks fantastic. His movement, his mobility up top with his finishing ability is just something that West Ham was lacking in the latter half of last season once Andy Carroll was out, and I just think that this season they look like a different team, and Slaven Bilic really has installed confidence now. I feel bad for Alan Pardew because he's made my winner's circle many times in these first few Premier League weekends because he's got Crystal Palace off to a great start. But again, coming up to a team like West Ham, if they really are going to be, I would say, is convincing in the role that they have set forward already this part of the season, that they're going to be contenders in the top 10, then they need to be beating teams like West Ham, but you can't really hold it against them because West Ham at the moment seem to be a little bit more consistent, and they just look devastating in front of goal when they get the opportunity, and they thoroughly deserve to be in the top 4 at the moment. It's crazy to say that. You expect it maybe a few, maybe 3 or 4 games in, but at this point you would expect these teams to drop off, but West Ham, under Slaven Bilic's direction, are firmly in there, and I think that it will take a lot to move them, to be honest. I don't think they'll be top 5 coming into the season, but who can say that they won't finish 6th or 7th or definitely stake a claim in Europe. So I congratulate them thoroughly. Now moving across to La Liga, and there's one point I just wanted to talk about here on my brief roundup clip, and it's Neymar. His whipping Nene was god-awful, but that does not take away from his performance now. The ability to win both penalties was phenomenal. The step over and then the ball through the guy's legs. I want to just bring up an example. That is, his challenge is something that you do to your friend when they're messing around with you and they nutmeg you and you're just like, alright, and you stick the back of your leg out. Why would he do that inside the box? They were thoroughly still in the game at this point. They had a majority of the possession and outshot Barcelona. But that just seemed to me like a rash challenge that you do when you're just really pissed off at someone else, and I don't understand why he did it. But Neymar, to be honest, has stepped up to the plate. With Messi's absence, Neymar is maturing in front of our eyes as a Barcelona player. He's always had the flair, he's always had the ability to take people on and then have that sublime finish, but now he's just doing it so consistently that you cannot look at Neymar without thinking potential Ballon d'Or winner, without thinking just someone who is going to be the world's best player at some point, because Messi and Ronaldo moving on, well, Messi not as much, but still moving on to the latter end of their career. Neymar is just continuing to get better, and there's a reason why people like the True Geordie will be out there saying that he's going to be the next Ballon d'Or winner, and who can count him out, because he looks phenomenal at this moment, even showing signs of maturity in front of goal, but also in areas where you'd expect him to take the player on and go on his own. He's setting on people like Suarez, and he's showing that teammate capability that you see in Lionel Messi, when he wasn't always scoring on his own, but he was setting up other teammates and making sure that everyone around him got their fair share when possession was there to be shared. So I think that Neymar overall stands out for me just as a phenomenal weekend for him in world football. And as always, guys, giving you my time here, make sure to leave your comments in the section below. I love to interact. Let me know what you thought about the Premier League weekend. Sorry it's a little more brief than usual, but I got to go and drink some champers for turning the big 2. You can guess it. Leave it in the comment section below. Did I look 21, 22, 23? Maybe go a little bit higher and I won't talk to you after that. Anyway, subscribe to Tevez Sports and I'll be back again tomorrow. You can bet your ass on that.